I'm not sure how familiar you are with Red Hill. It is a massive underground fuel storage facility consisting of 20 massive World War II tanks located 100 feet over Oahu's aquifer that holds 250 million gallons of fuel to support military operations across the Indo-Pacific. This storage facility has contaminated the Navy's water system, displacing almost 4,000 families since December. As a result, the state of Hawaii has directed the Navy to defuel the tanks. The Department of Defense estimates the cost of the crisis response alone to date is almost $500 million, and that does not include defueling the tanks or the cost of upgrades to do so safely. The Navy must immediately resolve the drinking water crisis, and the Department of Defense must develop a long-term plan for strategic fuel storage. The people of Hawaii deserve a resolution to the Red Hill crisis as quickly as possible, including a decision regarding the potential closing of Red Hill. The fastest way to do this is through the state of Hawaii's ongoing hearing to determine whether to provide or deny a permit to operate Red Hill. At the end of the day, the health and safety of the people of Hawaii and military members and their families is my top priority, a goal shared by the Secretary of Defense. A fundamental component of health and safety is access to clean drinking water, a goal we should all be focused on. Question for Mr. Storch. In November, I led the effort along with my colleagues from the Hawaii delegation in calling for the DOD Inspector General to start an independent investigation into Navy oversight and operation at the Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility. Even if the state of Hawaii declines to give Red Hill a permit, it is imperative that investigation continues. The people of Hawaii deserve answers about what happened in order to mend the distrust of the military that has resulted from this crisis. Mr. Storch, if confirmed, will you continue the current IG investigation into Red Hill with the urgency it deserves?
Thank you for the question, Senator. I am aware of the pendency of an evaluation. I'm not familiar with the current status of it, but if I'm confirmed, certainly I'll work with the team at the OIG to ensure that it's appropriately followed through on and any appropriate recommendations made, and those are followed through on as well. If I can, I would just mention with regard to Senator Gillibrand's question, I don't think I answered it very articulately, but it would essentially be the same answer that I'm not aware as the IG of NSA of the current status of pending evaluations at other offices, but if I'm confirmed, I'll make sure that we follow through as appropriate. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lowman, a long-term concern I know the military has with respect to Red Hill is the national security impact that defueling and shutting down the facility could have. I've spoken with Deputy Secretary Hicks several times about this concern. She has launched a thorough review of the facility's long-term future to include the option of permanently defueling Red Hill and is analyzing the distribution of fuel reserves for operations in the Pacific Theater. And you mentioned already in your testimony that you indicated the Indo-Pacific needs, which is, of course, a huge AOR, and the supplies that will be required, that includes fuel. So that's something that you've already acknowledged. The department needs a storage and logistics solution for the strategic fuel reserves, and this is an issue that will likely require extensive funds and direction from Congress. Mr. Lowman, if confirmed, you will be responsible for overseeing the fuel requirements for the department. Very briefly, how do you intend to approach this issue?
Senator, thank you. I'm aware of a couple of ongoing initiatives. One you referenced already, the DSD's sponsored study of the strategic positioning of petroleum supplies in the Indo-Pacific at echelon, and whether any changes in the positioning of that fuel can be made. The second one, ma'am, are establishing an end-to-end common operating picture of our petroleum supplies, using advanced data analytics and AI where appropriate so that we can better manage the flow the consumption, and the overall transportation requirements. So if confirmed, I will work very closely with DLA, US Transcom, the COCOMs, and the services to ensure that, one, these initiatives have the appropriate oversight at the department, and two, that they remain resourced and on track for successful conclusion.
Mr. Chairman, with regard to Red Hill, it is highly likely that the state of Hawaii will not grant a permit for the continuing operations of Red Hill, and therefore we are going to need to address how we're going to meet the fueling needs of the Indo-Pacific AOR. I have some other questions that I'd like to submit for the record, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.